Hi, I'm Jung Chol. I am happy to introduce Puppet as a configuration management program to you. In Chapter 1, I will focus to explain Puppet concept, architecture, and Puppet resources. Through this video, I hope that you will understand what Puppet is and why we have to use Puppet clearly. Main topics. The first topic is the Puppet definition. In this topic, you will learn what Puppet is and Puppet architecture and how Puppet works. The second topic is the Puppet object. Puppet needs to manage a specific object such as file, directory, packages, and services. Normally, we call them Puppet resources. Except them, Puppet can also manage many things, such as navigators, log messages, and SSH as well. However, in this course, I will mainly focus to explain 5 things adding users. The third topic is Puppet products or third-party programs. Puppet has many third-party programs such as PuppetDB and MCollective to enhance its performance and availability provided by Puppet Labs and other companies. And this topic will mainly be covered in Puppet Advanced course, the following course of Puppet Fundamentals. Before we start the Puppet program, we have to know configuration management program and why we need this kind of programs. Let's imagine the daily life of system administrators. He will be busy to install many devices and systems consistently, and when he installs them, he also needs to do a lot of configuration for each systems. If we complete this configuration, then many updates will wait for him to maintain up-to-date systems. Furthermore, many servers and applications need to be deployed for their services by system administrators. For this kind of operation, he will consider of using automation programs such as shell script and group policy. If there are just one or two systems the system administrators have to manage, it will be easy to deal with them. However, what if there are 50 or 100 systems that he has to manage every day for this operation? The exact solution for this kind of circumstances is configuration management program like a Puppet. To overcome these terrible circumstances, we need to use configuration management system. Then, what is configuration management? As you see, this is to handle changes systematically for especially integrity of your systems. As you know, when we manage our systems, many changes will happen for the best performance and sustainable service. If we use configuration management programs, the track of changes often occurred and repeatedly will be implemented by them automatically. It became to be possible to track system changes using configuration management consistently and automatically for the stable system management and integrity. Even if there are many configuration management programs in the marketplace, mainly these 4 programs are more popular: Ansible, Chef, Chef Engine, and SaltStack with Puppet. I recommend you to study these programs with Puppet if available later. According to data of InfoWorld in 2013 about configuration management programs, we can know the exact market distribution and preference from customers in marketplace. As you see, Puppet got the highest score from customers at the time. And nowadays, Puppet became the standard of configuration management programs for many enterprises, and they request their Puppet skills when they recruit their employees as a system administrator. As you see, nowadays many enterprises, over 20,000 organizations, have been adopting Puppet as their configuration management program. And this kind of pattern will be expected to continue in the future as well. Then, what is Puppet? As I told you in the previous pages, this is one of the configuration management programs and focuses on managing the state of IT infrastructure such as various servers and applications automatically for the correct and stable state. It also helps you to keep and track huge the system changes consistently. And the Puppet is written in Ruby, and 2005 this Puppet project is launched by Puppet Labs. At first time, Puppet was designed to be easier to configure and use than CF Engine. At the time, CF Engine looks very difficult to configure. Puppet has two versions, open source Puppet and Puppet Enterprise as a commercial version. In case of Puppet Enterprise, it combines Puppet with web console and cloud provisioning tools, and also professional support will be added. However, you can use Puppet Enterprise free up to 10 nodes. In this course, I will use Puppet open source version. What does Puppet do? Puppet's main function is to provide provisioning, patching, configuration, management of operating systems, and application components and reporting. And these functions will be implemented automatically with minimum interference by system administrators for huge systems. For this purpose, Puppet Labs provides many third-party programs with Puppet. Let's take a look at Puppet architecture briefly. Even if this architecture looks a little complicated, just focus on three elements. Puppet 4G as a content marketplace, and Puppet Master and Puppet Agent. Puppet 4G is the marketplace for the Puppet content, such as module. In Chapter 8, I will cover this topic in detail. Puppet Master server provides reporting, administration, security, and creating content, and can be managed using GUI programs such as Puppet Dashboard and Format. In Chapter 2, I will cover how to install and start Puppet Master based on CentOS 7. Puppet Agent are application servers such as database, web, and mail server, and normally communicate with the Puppet Master server to give their information and full catalogs, which are manufactured by Puppet Master. These agents can be located in physical server, virtual machines, and cloud environment for their services. In Chapter 3, I will cover how to install and connect the Puppet Agent with Puppet Master using CentOS 7 and Ubuntu 14. Puppet uses client and server architecture. Server is called master and client is called agent and node. In terms of an application, we have to call agent and node in terms of host. As a Puppet Master, Linux systems are used, and for the agent system, various systems such as Windows Server, Linux, and Unix servers are used. In this course, I will use CentOS 7 as a master server, and CentOS 7 and Ubuntu 14 will be used for the agent. Puppet Master and Agent communicate each other using secure socket layer for the secure connection via TCP and port number 8140. So you need to create private and public key to use SSL connection before using this secure communication. If an agent submits the certificate created on private and public keys to master, master will sign this certificate. This signed certificate will be used for the authentication between master and agent. Also, an agent needs to pull configuration from a master to apply to itself. Push and pull, as I told you in previous page, normally Puppet is using pull to bring the configuration file from the master. However, push normally means server calls silent. If server calls the client, this kind of program will be executed immediately in remote system and sort and answerable using push. However, in contrast, pull means client called the server. And if client called the server for the configuration file, this file will not be executed immediately from the remote system. And Puppet, Chef, and Salt are using this pool. How Puppet works? For the perfect operation, Puppet needs these four processes. Step 1, fact collection. Step 2, catalog compilation. And step 3, enforcement. And step 4, report and report sharing. Let's check one by one. Step 1, fact collection. Normally, I only told you the communication between Puppet master and agent. So, Puppet agent on each node need to send this kind of fact about the node's configuration. And this node configuration normally contain information about the hardware, operating system, package versions, and other information to the Puppet master. If Puppet master receive this kind of information from Puppet agent, then Puppet master will use this kind of fact for what? To compile detailed data. And this detailed data, if compiled, normally we call this catalog. And then Puppet master will send this kind of catalog to Puppet agent. Step 3, enforcement. If the agent receives this kind of catalog, then Puppet agent needs to change it to enforce for this desired state. Also, Puppet can test this kind of the catalog using simulation mode. If Puppet agent uses this simulation mode, these changes will not be applied directly. Step 4, report and report sharing. Each Puppet agent now are ready to send this kind of report back to Puppet master about changes that have been made to each node configuration because Puppet agent now receive this kind of catalog from Puppet master to operate itself. And then Puppet open this kind of API can send data to certified tools to share about their infrastructure informations. Puppet master and agent operation. In summary, I already told you, first step, master need to collect the data from Puppet agent. This is the first step. If Puppet master receive this kind of information from Puppet agent, then Puppet master will compile this data to create catalog. This is the second step. If master create this kind of catalog, Puppet agent need to pull this kind of catalog from Puppet master, and then Puppet agent will apply this kind of catalog to their state, and then Puppet agent need to report to master about their defined system state. This is a brief summary about the operation between Puppet master and Puppet agent. Puppet needs objects to manage for the automation configuration such as the resource, class, manifest, module, Puppet 4G, and Git as a version control system. If you are familiar with managing resources and the other objects are just the broad and expanded concept of resources, and easily you will be able to control and manage them. Let me describe them one by one. Resource means it's a configuration items. Normally Puppet call like this. So as a resource, normally we can use user, file, directory, package, and so on. When we configure this kind of Puppet resources, I already told you the file and directory and the package and the service. and the users can be main Puppet resources. In this course, also I will focus on the managing this kind of Puppet resources. Also, when we manage this kind of Puppet resources, we need to declare this kind of element. First one is a type, second is a title, third is an attribute, fourth is a providers. Normally when we declare this kind of Puppet resources, normally we use the type, title, attribute together. But in case of provider are a bit different. So this is an example about how to use Puppet resource. The declaration like this, package Apache should be installed. Then we can use this kind of syntax, package Apache ensure present. Here, package means type, Apache means title, ensure means attribute, and present means value. But so here, even if we don't use provider, no problem to use Puppet resource. Then, what is a Puppet providers as an element? Puppet providers are implementers on different systems. So when we use Puppet, normally there are various system environment. In this case, we have to use providers. For example, providers for packages. For the Ubuntu, normally we use apt. For the Red Hat, CentOS, and Fedora, normally we are using Yum as a package management tool. And in the Python, we are using pip. In the Ruby, we are using gem. In this case, what is the solution for the package management system? In this case, we have to use the providers as a Puppet resource element. Then, what is the class? Class means the collection of resources. If you create many resources, then we can define Puppet class. Manifest. What is the Puppet manifest? Manifest is a kind of file, and this file contains configuration information, and this normally the manifest file are having suffix .pp, and if you have this kind of manifest will be compiled into catalog. This catalog will be transferred to Puppet agent by Puppet master. What is the Puppet module? Puppet module means it's a collection of many kinds of manifest, resources, files, templates, classes, and definitions. Puppet Forge. Puppet Forge is a place where you go to get the pre-made modules created by Puppet Labs and Puppet community. For example, if you need the module about Apache and MySQL, then in Puppet Forge, you can download this kind of module. So if you want to visit Puppet Logi, please visit this URL, forge.puppetlabs.com. About the Puppet Forge, in chapter 8, I will cover this topic. Puppet language. When we use the Puppet, normally we have to consider character of Puppet language. In the language, there are two concepts, declarative and procedure. So, in case of Puppet, normally have to use declarative language. So then, what is different between declarative language and procedure language? Okay, let's check. First one, in case of the procedure language, normally describe how things should be done rather than the desire and the state. So normally, procedure language focus on how should be done, like this. So the language like Perl and Shell script is belong to procedure languages. However, procedure languages are a bit complex and not so easy to create compared to declarative language. Declarative languages normally make a statement about the state of the configuration. So normally declarative language just declare the package should be installed. Declarative language only focus only what, not how. So declarative language are a bit less complex than procedure languages and a little bit easy to create compared to procedure languages. So I told you Puppet now using declarative language. Version control with Git. Then what is Git and what can we do using Git? Normally, Git focusing on tracking changes to your configuration. If you have so many the configuration and if you want to track this kind of changes, then you need to use Git. Using Git, if we use the Git, normally the Git need to revert to a previously known state. Also, using Git also make changes without impacting running configuration. I already told you Git is a kind of version control system. In the Puppet, Git can be used to manage and distribute manifest to multiple machines, like as a Puppet agent. About the Git, in chapter 5, I will cover this topic in detail. Puppet product. When we use Puppet, we can also many kinds of Puppet product as a certified programs. Puppet dashboard, Puppet DB, and Hera, and Factor and Erasure, and Geppetto, and MCollective. Let's check one by one. Puppet dashboard. Puppet dashboard is an open source web console for Puppet. If we want to manage the Puppet using web interface, then we need to install Puppet dashboard. Using Puppet, we can analyze the reports and browse inventory data and assign classes to nodes. Also, we can use the foreman instead of Puppet dashboard, but this foreman developed by Red Hat. PuppetDB is a fast, scalable, and reliable data warehouse for Puppet. So, in case of Puppet, normally the cache data generated by the Puppet. If Puppet generates some of the data, then Puppet can cache this kind of data to PuppetDB. PuppetDB gives you advanced features at awesome speed with a powerful API. Here this is a key value lookup tool for configuration data in the Puppet. So why we have to use here? To build to make the Puppet better. And Puppet lets you set node specific data without repeating yourself. So if you install Puppet 3, then this version will support Hera in built-in system. If you want Hera in Puppet 2.7, then you need to add on. Factor. This is cross-platform system profiling library. Normally Factor is a discover and a report for node fact, and this one normally is available in Puppet manifest as a variables. Razor is advanced provisioning application, and this Razor is a rule-based provisioning for especially bare metal hardware and virtual servers. And this one was developed in cooperation with EMC and the VMware. Normally, we can easily deploy the via Puppet module from the Puppet Forge. Geppetto is an integrated development environment we normally call IDE for Puppet, similar to Eclipse for Java. Using the Geppetto, normally this one provides a toolset for developing Puppet modules and manifest. If you want the module and manifest by yourself for the Puppet, then you can use this program. This Geppetto normally includes the syntax highlighting, error tracing, debugging, and code completion features. Also, this Geppetto program adds the Puppet Enterprise integration by parsing PuppetDB error reporting. Using this one, you can quickly find the problems with your Puppet code that are causing configuration failures. MCollective. This is a powerful orchestration, the framework, and normally MCollective runs actions on thousands of servers simultaneously. MCollective can be used using existing plugins while writing your one. Puppet Lab setup. For this course, I will use one Puppet Master and two Puppet Agent. For the Puppet Master, I will use CentOS 7. For the Puppet Agent, I will use Ubuntu 14 and CentOS 7 as well. For lab server the details, this kind of the master and agent will have this kind of information. Puppet Master and Agent, hostname, operating system, IP address, and storage. Summary, Chapter 1, Introduction to Puppet. At first time, I explained what is the Puppet and what kind of things can consist of Puppet, especially three things: Forge, Puppet Master, and Puppet Agent. Puppet resource is an object managed by the Puppet, and in this course, I will cover especially the five things as a Puppet resources, like a file, directory, package, service, and user. And each Puppet resource have the four kinds, the element. And then I explain the Puppet components as a third-party programs. So in this fundamental course, I will focus on Puppet definition and architecture and Puppet resources. In Puppet Advanced course, I will focus on Puppet components. In Chapter 2, you will learn Puppet Master Configuration. For the Puppet Master Configuration, in Step 1, installing Puppet Master on CentOS 7. Step 2, configuring Puppet Master. Step 3, generating certificate for the secure connection. And Step 4, starting Puppet Master. These kind of things will be explained in Chapter 2. Thanks for watching this video. God bless you. See you in next times.